Hello everyone and welcome back to Dusty Tunes. It's Destiny here. Just a quick reminder, if you are someone who is a fan of animation content as well as lifestyle content, I do have a vlog channel that I link in the description of every video. So if you want to check out that sort of content, feel free to. Sorry, just had to do a little selfless plug. Anyway, back to the video. So it's very rare that you will find an episode of SpongeBob that comes off as sad or dark. There are only a few that pop up instantly in my mind, like Gary Come Home or the Health Inspector episode, but there is another episode of SpongeBob that always left me feeling very sad and uncomfortable after watching it, and even as an adult, I purposely skip over this episode just because I remember those weird feelings it gave me growing up. The episode I'm referring to is the one titled Jellyfish Hunter. This is an episode we are all probably a little familiar with because it showcased the very iconic jellyfish jelly Krabby Patty that honestly looked really delicious. But anyway, the episode starts off very lighthearted with SpongeBob jellyfish fishing in jellyfish fields. Wow, okay, that's a tongue twister. And we see that he encounters the very rare blue jellyfish that he names No Name as they engage in a friendly game of chase. SpongeBob then returns to the Krusty Krab, where on his lunch break he whips out some of that jellyfish jelly he collected earlier in the day and puts it on his Krabby Patty. After sharing some jelly with a customer, Mr. Krabs sees just how excited people are about SpongeBob's culinary invention and wants in on the action. Also, can we just take a quick second to talk about just how excited this customer was about this jelly? Like, literally, he needs to work in advertisement because based off of his reaction alone, I definitely wanted to try this jelly as a kid. Just me? Now, we all know just how greedy Mr. Krabs is. He literally sold SpongeBob for 62 cents to the Flying Dutchman and even betted against SpongeBob in his battle against King Neptune. He is a character that would do anything for money, and in this episode we see just how far and how dark Eugene Krabs can be when it comes to making that money. Mr. Krabs assigns SpongeBob to collect more jellyfish as there are many customers that need to be fed, and in true Mr. Krabs fashion, he manipulates SpongeBob into valuing the customer satisfaction over the well-being of the jellyfish. But before leaving, SpongeBob reminds Mr. Krabs to make sure that the jellyfish are comfortable, seeing as they are sensitive, and it's here where we start to see the true intentions behind Mr. Krabs' master plan. As time goes on, Mr. Krabs orders SpongeBob to collect more and more jellyfish, and I remember watching this montage as a kid and thinking it was silly seeing all of the ways that SpongeBob was catching and trapping these jellyfish, but as I got older, all I could do was relate this to the real world issue that is overhunting and overfishing a species until they are little to no more. And as we reach the end of the day and this episode, we see that Jellyfish Fields is basically barren with only one jellyfish remaining, and it's the blue jellyfish that we saw at the beginning of the episode. It's really sad that at this point SpongeBob doesn't seem to see an issue with this, but it's also obvious that SpongeBob doesn't truly understand the bigger issue at hand here. Throughout this series, it's always presented pretty well that SpongeBob cares a lot about the well-being of these jellyfish, and although he enjoys the sport of jellyfishing, he respects the jellyfish themselves and their environment. After leaving Jellyfish Fields, No Name follows SpongeBob home and in true classic horror movie fashion decides to torment SpongeBob by calling his phone and not responding. This scene was actually kind of funny because you can just hear No Name breathing heavily on the other line. It reminded me a lot of like Scream or a Scary Movie, so if it was a reference to things like that, then that's actually really cool. But anyway, he also ends up cutting SpongeBob's power line and leaving an ominous Krabby Patty that is filled with blue jelly on his kitchen floor. Now you might be thinking why No Name did all of these things and then continued to trap SpongeBob in a glass jar, but the answer is revealed in a scene that is truly heartbreaking to see and one that I wasn't expecting to appear in a SpongeBob episode. SpongeBob is faced with the horrors he was complacent in, whether he knew it or not, because Mr. Krabs was operating some sort of makeshift jellyfish milking plant where all of the captured jellyfish were having their jelly extracted in both inhumane and obscure ways, like tickling them to death, forcefully milking them with robotic hands, or literally shredding them up on a device similar to a citrus juicer. What makes the scene even sadder is seeing the containers filled to the brim with jellyfish who were dead and just tossed aside after fulfilling Mr. Krabs' greedy desires. After witnessing the horrors, SpongeBob then confronts Mr. Krabs, where he states that had he had known that this was the intentions behind capturing the jellyfish, he would have never done it. He says that jellyfish need to be in open, wide spaces where they can breathe fresh air. And honestly, at this point in the episode, it went from feeling like silly shenanigans between Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob into an episode that almost felt as if it was critiquing or shining light to the very inhumane conditions of a lot of factory farms that we have here in the States. Now, of course, children wouldn't really understand something like this, but the least that they could take away from an episode like this is learning how to treat living beings with kindness and care, and that things like greed could lead you to reaping some very serious and painful consequences. Now, watching this episode as an adult does make me realize that this episode tried its best to bring awareness to the dark side of factory farming and the conditions in which they hold their animals in the name of business. Luckily, this episode does end on a positive note, with the remaining jellyfish being set free and returning back to their home in Jellyfish Fields. Also, with Mr. Krabs receiving a shockingly deserved punishment, and lastly with SpongeBob vowing only to use his jellyfish net for sport, as jellyfish were never meant to be caught forever. And as a token of appreciation, the rare blue jellyfish once named No Name finally allows SpongeBob to catch them, where they are given the title of friend. There definitely was a craze from the 80s to the early 2000s where animated movies and series did their part in speaking out about environmental and animal issues, ranging from animal experimentation to deforestation, and it really was refreshing to see a series like SpongeBob also taking part in tackling such a controversial topic like factory farming. Unfortunately, animated movies and episodes like these are dying out, which I feel is a shame, especially considering the fact that there is such a huge number of people in our country that are still shocked in knowing that things like animal testing are still happening. With the beagles being freed from the breeding farms being such big news in our country, I'm really hoping that'll help to spark inspiration with animated movies and animated series to continue to talk about the hidden horrors that are happening all around the world in terms of environmental and animal issues. I feel like it's important to talk about episodes like these because although they are the sort of episodes that kind of get forgotten about, they are the episodes that show us that the creators and writers behind this series do care about the important issues that are going on in the world around us. Now, of course, it is really cool that we do have series like SpongeBob that allow us to have a place of just comfort and relaxation, a place to escape the horrors of reality. But it also feels equally just as nice to know that the people behind this series have a heart. Anyway, that's where I'm going to end today's video. Let me know down in the comments below. Do you remember this episode? And if you do, how do you remember it making you feel as a child? Because it used to creep me out and honestly used to make me feel really weird and empty inside. But thank you guys so much for tuning into this video and watching. If you liked it, let me know that you did by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and turning on notifications so you never miss a video in the future. Also, don't forget to check out my vlog channel if you like lifestyle content. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!